$500 income is not the real problem. $500 thinking is. Because the scariest part about staying broke is not having little money. It is building a way of thinking that keeps you small, even when life gives you a bigger opportunity. That is why two people can start in the same place, with the same age, the same background, the same struggles, and even the same paycheck, but 5 years later, one is still trapped in survival while the other is building freedom. What changed? Not luck, not magic, not talent alone. Mindset. Because before money changes your life, your mindset changes your relationship with money, and that relationship decides almost everything. The $500 mindset lives in emergency mode. It wakes up already feeling behind, already pressured, already tired, already believing life is something to survive, not something to design. It thinks in days, sometimes only in hours. It asks questions like, how do I make it to next week? How do I escape stress right now? What can I buy that makes me feel better for a moment? How do I avoid discomfort today? And that way of thinking feels normal when life has been hard for too long, because survival has a psychology. When someone has lived under pressure for months or years, the brain stops chasing vision and starts chasing relief. That is why the $500 mindset does not always make bad decisions because it is lazy. Sometimes it makes bad decisions because it is exhausted. It wants something immediate, something fast, something emotional, something that feels like control. So it spends on what looks good now. It reacts instead of prepares. It avoids hard skills because they take time. It chooses entertainment over education because education feels slow and pain feels urgent. And slowly, without realizing it, this mindset becomes a cage, not because the person is stupid, but because the person becomes trapped inside short-term thinking. The $500 mindset says, I need money now. I'll start later. I can't afford to think long-term. I just need one break. I deserve this. Maybe next month I'll get serious. And that is how years disappear. Not in one giant mistake, but in hundreds of small choices that feel harmless in the moment. One unnecessary purchase, one ignored skill, one missed opportunity, one... Now compare that to the $10,000 mindset. This mindset may not start with $10,000. That is important. It often begins long before the money arrives. Because the $10,000 mindset is not about what is already in your bank account. It is about how you think, how you choose, how you act, and what you are becoming. This mindset does not ask, how do I feel better today? It asks, how do I become stronger this year? It does not ask, what can I buy? It asks, what? That changes everything. Because once a person starts focusing on value, they stop seeing money as something mysterious. They stop seeing wealthy people as lucky creatures from another planet. They begin to understand that income often follows usefulness. The more valuable your skills, your thinking, your discipline, your communication, your problem solving, and your execution, the more your income can grow. The $10,000 mindset understands this deeply. That is why it treats time differently. The $500 mindset kills time because time feels heavy. The $10,000 mindset protects time because time is an asset. One scrolls to escape reality. The other studies reality to gain leverage. One waits to feel motivated. The other acts before motivation appears. One says, I'll do it when I'm ready. The other says, I'll become ready by doing it. That is a massive difference, because most people think success comes when confidence arrives first, but confidence usually comes later. First comes effort, then repetition, then skill, then proof, then confidence. The $10,000 mindset knows this, so it is willing to look foolish at the beginning. It is willing to be a beginner. It is willing to learn slowly. It is willing to build in silence. It is willing to delay pleasure, and that is rare, because delayed gratification is one of the most powerful financial superpowers. The ability to say no now for something bigger later separates almost every level of life. The $500 mindset wants the reward before the work. The $10,000 mindset trusts the work before the reward. The $500 mindset buys symbols. The $10,000 and freedom is different. Freedom means not panicking over every bill. Freedom means not begging time for mercy. Freedom means not being trapped by every emotional decision. Freedom means having enough margin to think clearly, to plan, to breathe, and to choose. That is what the $10,000 mindset is really chasing, not just money. And that future starts with identity, because sooner or later, every financial result becomes an identity result. If you identify as someone who always struggles, you will unconsciously protect struggle. If you identify as someone who never finishes, you will sabotage. That is where the shift begins. The $500 mindset is ruled by emotion. The $10,000 mindset trains emotion. The $500 mindset wants certainty before action. The $10,000 mindset creates certainty through action. The $500 mindset fears discomfort. The $10,000 mindset uses discomfort as proof of growth. The $500 mindset asks, "What if I fail?" The $10,000 mindset asks, "What will happen if I never change?" That question changes lives, because staying the same also has a price, a very expensive price. Years of untapped potential, years of financial stress, years of dependency, years of repeating the same month in different clothes. That is the tragedy. Not starting at the bottom, but staying there mentally even when a way out exists. And the way out does exist. It begins when you stop glorifying comfort, when you stop spending to heal what discipline should heal, when you stop using temporary pleasure as a replacement for long-term progress. Because in the end, the difference between the $500 mindset and the $10,000 mindset is not just money. It is the difference between reacting and building, between consuming and creating, between surviving and becoming. And once your mindset changes, your income is only a matter of time.